many of you will know, John Goodchild was a local historian and antiquarian. He amassed this collection over his lifetime. It is believed to be one of the largest private collections relating to Yorkshire collected by a single individual. The John Goodchild Collection passed to Wakefield Metropolitan District Council under the terms of a deed of gift upon John's death in 2017 and is now housed at the West Yorkshire History Centre, Wakefield, under the care of the West Yorkshire Archive Service. We knew from years gone past that John had collected some absolute wonders, but like many of you, we couldn't always get access to John or his collection in order to find out what else there might be to help our researchers. When John relocated from Drury Lane in 2012 to be with us at the Registry of Deeds building, it was quite a mammoth task. But to cut a long logistical story short, we managed the move successfully, packaged and transported everything along with John to the registry. Then began the long task of updating and logging the new locations of each container within the collection. John worked from his own office at the registry. He often came in to work through new locations, to answer inquiries and bring in new accessions as he acquired further material to complement and enhance his already vast collection of records, artefacts and artworks. In 2016, we began the move to our wonderful purpose-built West Yorkshire History Centre. The John Goodchild Collection was barcoded as part of the process, and where archives were in unsuitable containers for moving, such as the famous tin trunks, they were reboxed. Barcoding enabled us to know the exact location of each box or container. It also meant that we had a grasp of the true enormity of John's collection as it seemed to grow before our very eyes. However, knowing where each container was still didn't mean that we knew what was in each one. Sadly, John didn't live long enough to see his collection fully housed here. We had hoped he would be with us to begin listing it and imparting his wisdom, but it was not to be. The increasing number of inquiries that West Yorkshire Archive Service were receiving at that time was causing huge difficulties for us in locating material. Even records that inquirers had seen before with John could not be located, and understandably, it was causing huge frustration for our researchers. This was due to the partial paper surveys that existed as finding aids for the collection. In addition to that, where John had delved into his collection to conduct research for inquiries or for his many publications, some records had not been returned to their place of origin. John knew where these were, but sadly, we did not. Now, the purpose of an archive service is twofold. We exist to collect and preserve our written and documented history, and also to make those records accessible to researchers worldwide. And with the John Goodchild Collection, we simply could not do that as it stood. We couldn't enable access to records that we could not locate. Therefore, we were unable to assess the physical condition of them, their suitability for handling, or even to know whether they were original records or copies. Wakefield Metropolitan District Council not only recognised the importance of this collection, but also the need for funding in order to discover what was contained within it and to look at its conservation needs. They funded an archivist for a year to enable us to box list so that we could begin the long journey of identifying and locating records and categorising the conservation needs of these unique documents. I should just say at this point that box listing gives us an overview. It identifies date spans, types of records and subject matter. It does not list them to item level. Now, in November 2019, we began in a flurry of excitement. Discovering what these records actually hold is an archivist's dream. But then, sadly, the pandemic hit us all and we couldn't access the collection physically. Work did continue, however, through deciphering John's thousands of index cards and his handwriting, but we weren't able to come into the building to box list the actual collection. In light of this, the decision was made to pause work on the project in order to safeguard the precious funding allocated to it. Despite the challenges presented by pandemic pauses and restrictions, work resumed in October 2021 and has continued since. Records within the collection relate mainly to the former West Riding, which historically included areas of what is now North, South, West and East Yorkshire. John collected avidly over his lifetime, and his later years didn't seem to slow that down either. So whether they were donations to his collection or he sought to purchase them privately, the John Goodchild Collection had continued to grow. This is a diverse collection of some size. Items within it may relate directly to each other or they may simply stand alone, but we must remember that regardless of how they came to be in the John Goodchild Collection, the fact remains that without John collecting, as he did over his lifetime, these items may never have survived. So without John's intervention, without him bringing them in and giving them a home, they may well have been lost to future generations forever, and for that we must be grateful to him. As some of you know, John was incredibly passionate about our industrial heritage, from the coal and textile industries to the navigations, waterways and railways. He wrote publications and contributed to others through allowing them access to his collection. He collected many records of these industries, from ledgers and correspondence bundles, wages books, through to the outsized plans showing coal seams, collieries and the development of our districts. Grappling with these outsized plans definitely staved off the need for the gym, but until the John Goodchild project got underway, all we really knew about these ledgers and rolled plans was that they were big. John also had a keen interest in the development of our districts, and this is reflected in the great number of sales particulars and plans of various buildings, including those still in existence today and those long gone. Solicitors' collections are another example of John's collecting methods. As we know, solicitors deal with a wide variety of issues, from wills, probate, land and property purchases, rentals, court cases, family and estate papers, trust funds and so on. The beauty of these is that they are from the everyday person to the large landholder. These people lived, died, bought and rented property. They had families and played a part in developing the district around them, and we can see that clearly reflected through these records. The John Goodchild Collection has generated a lot of interest from researchers all over the world. Due to the diversity of the records within it, it really is such a rich and unique resource for so many people, regardless of where they live. Of course, one of the issues we have come across is the physical condition of the collection as a whole. Many documents require some level of cleaning and packaging as a basic need. Others, however, need far more intensive conservation work to make them accessible. For these records, even light handling could result in the loss of information contained within them forever. So for now, those records will not be accessible. This is an example of what I call a grot box. It's a prime example of how records had been kept prior to John taking them in. They came into his collection like that, and due to the mammoth task it needs to clean and repackage them, they have remained that way. The box listing project has enabled us to conduct a condition survey in order to flag up those records worst affected. It's also enabled us to allow access to a growing number of researchers, and in the period since the project began, we have now halved the time a researcher needs to spend going through boxes in order to find relevant material. At this stage, it may still mean going through 3 boxes, but the boxes are far more likely to be of relevance to that researcher than we would have been faced with before the project had started. Due to reboxing work, there are now over 3,300 boxes of material, and this number will only increase in time as the long journey of reboxing, cleaning and repackaging starts. You can help to play a part in this through our Sponsor a Box scheme, so please do see our website for further details on that. The John Goodchild Collection really is an exciting collection, so diverse and rich in information that it does come under that umbrella of something for everyone, and there is so much more to discover within it. But to let you into a little secret, we are delighted to say that the box listing is at an end, and the resulting list will be available to search on our catalogue very soon.